Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the channel if you are new. Hi, thanks for subscribing. Welcome to Calligraphy. I am Dan, aka Calligraphy on Instagram, and since my channel went live, all I've done is colouring really, and I keep mentioning calligraphy videos, and I thought I'm feeling a bit rubbish today. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a cold. I'm not feeling the best. I'm not really in the mood for colouring this evening, but I did want to get on and film something for you, so I thought let's just do something to relax the mind. I have my trusty Rhodia dot pad, super smooth paper. I have my small brush pen drawer from my little calligraphy units that I painted and decorated myself, and in here we have my absolute favourite brush pens. These pens are absolutely amazing for beginner calligraphy, so I'm going to get them all out because they were the first set of pens I ever got. I added to them when they released the new colours, which I am obsessed with. This raspberry colour, beautiful. These are the Pentel Touch brush pens. They are divine, and I will tell you why in one moment. But as you can see inside here, we've got some mild liner brush pens, obsessed, beautiful colours, such a nice size brush. We've got the gorgeous Deco brush pigment pens from Karen Markers. Oh hello, you cheeky brush pen. We've got some Zig metallics in here, love these. And we've also got a Tombow, can't remember what these are called, but a Tombow one. I've got two of them. There's the other one's like a hard brush, one's like a soft brush, white, love a bit of that. So just a bit of a mishmash. So I have been saying for a very long time that I was going to get on here and do some calligraphy videos. I've had lots of people messaging, lots of people commenting, asking me please to do some. Now, obviously, calligraphy has took me a good few years to kind of get to a place where I feel like I am confident in it. I don't do it as often as I would like to anymore. And that's just down to finding time to sit down and do it and just practice the art of it. So here we have 24, I think, Pentel brush pens. Available from Pen Pusher. This is not a sponsored video. It's not an ad. I am a Pen Pusher ambassador. These pens are available on there. I will drop a link in the description. I will also leave my ambassador code. So Licious10 will save you 10%. And you can, if it's something you're interested in, you want to have a go on, I definitely recommend these pens. They are beautiful. Primary colours came out first, and then they introduced these lovely like pastel tones and just some sort of mid tones in there. Really, really nice. These lovely light colours as well. So they're a really beautiful pen. They have a nice small brush, so they're quite good at controlling them. Good for control. They're nice and flexible, so they spring back. And the colours are just beautiful. So, obviously, I'm not trained. I haven't studied like calligraphy. I have studied YouTube and bought lots of books and just practiced, and found a style that I really like. Now, this is just one of my pads. I have ripped out bits of paper. Ooh, we'll use that. But in here is just playing around with some doodles, some card designs, some practice. I absolutely love these. This is when I was going to design a little calendar and just never got around to it, but really happy with the way that actually these turned out. I really should do this more often. I do tend to start all sketches in pencil and work around and see what happens. But we are not going to jump straight into this. No way. We are going to start right at the very beginning. So I use dot paper because I like the fact that I can I don't have to draw any lines, any guidelines or anything like that. And this paper is super, super smooth, so it's going to protect your brushes. Now, when I first started calligraphy, I used to watch YouTube videos and think, I wish I could do that. So I started Googling how to do it, where to start, blah, blah, blah. And I discovered the basic strokes. Now, I am not exaggerating when I say for probably a month, I practiced every single day these basic strokes before even attempting to write a letter, or, well, definitely a word. I practiced a letter. I still remember it to this day. It was the letter H. No idea why that was my first letter, but it was. But I would say if you want to get into calligraphy that you really need to practice and invest in some time in learning the basic strokes, because I'm going to show you why that is first of all. Now, if we were to write, and trust my pen doesn't work, and I was just going to write the word hello like how I would write the word hello. This is going to be really difficult because I don't want to block my hand. Like, my pen doesn't come off the page and I just write the word hello. Might have to do it like this, I think. However, when you are writing and you are doing calligraphy, the idea is not to write like we were writing, as in the pen doesn't come off the page. You're not writing a letter, you are writing in basic strokes, and then these basic strokes you put together to create a letter. So, for example, after every basic stroke, I would take my hand off to reset and start again. I am going to go through the basic strokes in a minute. I'm just telling you why you would want to start there. So, for example, one stroke, hand off. Descending loop. Okay, so that letter H, again I've done it H, don't know why, is written in 3 different strokes, which we'll come back to in a minute. So, this is going to test my knowledge to see if I can remember them. We have an upstroke. Now, the one thing you need to remember about calligraphy is up is thin and down is thick. So every time the pen moves down the page, that's where you would increase your pressure to get that thicker stroke. So that is the basic place to start. I'm going to do it over two lines so you can see. And the idea of this is very light pressure, and you just want a consistently thin ascending stroke. Okay. So every time your pen is moving up the page, it's thin. So every time, and I'm very light pressure, just touching that nib to the paper. And you will get like wobbly, streaky, dotty lines. And just through practice, you'll know how much pressure to put on. Like, these aren't all exactly the same, but what I would do is go right the way across the page and pick the ones that I feel like worked really well, and I just give myself a little tick. Okay, so that is going up. So when your pen is going up, thin, light pressure, consistent line. When the pen is coming down, you're going to apply more pressure to bend that nib to get a nice thick line. So obviously you do need a brush pen to be able to do this so that you can bend that nib. Okay, up thick, up thin, down thick. Okay, so that is what you need to remember. So when you've got that and you're quite confident with your up and your down strokes and the nice and thin and the nice and thick, you can start combining them together. So trying to think what order it is best to do it in. Right, let's do an overturn, okay? So an overturn, you're going to go up, thin, down, thick. So imagine you're drawing an N. So you're going to go up and down, okay? Up and down. Now I'm trying not to, can you see how that's a little bit thick there? So I've gone a little bit heavy too soon. But I'm also not going right the way around and then bang, okay? The pressure kind of increases round about here. Can you see how that one's much more up and then down? It's like really harsh. It's like when you used to draw letters, when you were like in, I used to do it, and you used to write your letters like this if you're doing like a title or something. Do you know what I mean? I still use that font, but like you don't want that harsh straight line. It's a nice over the top and down, and this will take some practice, and again you'll see the ones that you like and the ones that you don't like, okay? And these lines should really be parallel. Mine aren't, or I'm not sat at a very good angle, even being honest. So it's just again up and down, and this is actually really relaxing, quite mindful when you get in the moment. Obviously right now I'm talking and it's not really happening. So that is lost my pen again. So we've got an overturn. This time we're going to do the opposite, which is an underturn. So we're going down this time and then up. So down and up, down and up. So we're going to be going thick first, thin second. So down, easing off and up. Okay, so that one was a little bit too keen because it's a bit stilted. And again, the lines should be parallel. Now, I've not got, and I need to get one really because it will probably help me loads. You can get the pads with the guidelines on, so you've got the horizontal, so you can kind of match up where you're going. I just kind of eye it. And there's nothing wrong with that if it's just for fun. Okay, so down thick. Well, that one's not very good. Okay, so can you see the difference between this one and this one? If you look here, where it kind of chops down and then just randomly curves round, whereas this one bends around. That's what you're looking for, okay? And again, it is just practice. I've not done this for so long. I forgot how much I enjoy it. Okay, so we've got an underturn. I've put tune, I'm tired. Never mind, we don't know why I'm writing them. I know what they're called. Anyway, what you can do then is put them together to create a compound curve. This comes in two ways. You're going to go either up, down, up, or down, up, down. So I'll show you up, down, up first. So you're going to go, let me see if this works a bit better, do it this way. You're going to go up, down, up. Now the secret to these, and it's quite hard, I'm not the best at it, is getting all three lines parallel. Up, down, up. It's really hard because this is not a position that I would letter in. It feels really weird. Quite a nice one. Okay, now just fill that whole line with them. So then the other reverse of it is down, up, down. So you're going to go thick, thin, thick, thick, thin, thick. So thick, thin, thick, down, up, down. Oh, rubbish. Down, up, down. Okay. So let's just recap. We've got up strokes thin, down strokes thick. Put them together. Up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. Oh, that one's a bit rubbish. Right. Let's swap pens now, just for the fun of it. Okay. Now, we're going to do ascending loops and descending loops. So these are perfect for like your letter P's, your Q's, the ascending stems on the D's. So this is going to go like this. I'm going to draw it first and then I'll explain it, okay? Up, down. Now I like using a dot grid because two dots. If you notice, all of these are two dots. I'll explain that in a minute. So it's like you're writing a letter P, but this is not a letter P. Down. Up. Down. Now I do kind of like a bit of a lean, and obviously depending on whatever style you are, well, these are completely wonky, but whatever style you're writing on, you change the shape of this. So it might be that you are wanting a more flourished looking one. It's not the best. Or you might just want a quite neat looking one. Okay. So this is a descending loop. We are going down the page. So this you would have on like the letter D, the letter B, the letter H. Okay, so a descending loop. And obviously you change how fat or thin, whatever for your style works for that loop. So the opposite of this is an ascending loop. So again, I'm going to use my 4 lines and I'm going to start at the bottom, and this time I'm going to go down and up. No, I'm not. I'm going to go down and around. So watch. So whereas this one we went around and down, this time I'm going down and around. You can see how out of practice I am. I have to really think about how to even write the basic stroke. So this you definitely have on like P's and Q's. J's, G's, so anything with a descender. Oop, I'm rushing now, so I don't want it to be too long. Okay, so they are your descending loops. So for example, just to see where these would fit in, you might have these on the letter B. And you might have these on a letter G. Okay. So I've just done B and G, and that takes us on to the next basic stroke, which is a bit of a tricky one. Probably, I would say what I found to be the trickiest, okay? And it is your ovals. Obviously, we need ovals in our life, so we can do letters like B and A and D and G and O and C. And this one, so if we were writing a letter O, we might start at the top and just go around like that, okay? So we'd start at the top maybe and go around like that. This time we're not. We're going to start slightly off center. So we're going to start, imagine there's the top of your O. We're going to start about 1 o'clock. And we're going to come around, down and up. Okay. So this is an oval. And then we're going to do a reverse oval, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I'm starting just slightly off center about 1 o'clock, and I'm going to go up, down and up. Now, I would say this is one that I could definitely improve on. They're completely different, every single one of them. They're a bit heavy and a bit sharp on the downstroke. But I am completely out of practice, and I'm going to start practicing more again. Okay, so this is an oval. So you would find this in a letter A. You'd find it in a letter Q with a kind of backwards descending loop. They're the ones that you're going, I still think mine are pretty ugly. I can kind of about pull them off in a letter because there's more to look at, but if you are just looking at the ovals, not the prettiest. A reverse oval is starting the other side of that 12 o'clock, so about 11, and going round the other way. Oh, and that was shocking. And you might think, why would you do that? Because we're kind of going backwards. These are worse than my other ones, so I am definitely going to be practicing my ovals because I'm fully out of practice of that. So the idea of these are when you have a P, but instead of going round, I'm finishing early and going that way. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is your basic strokes. So quick recap: up thin, down thick. Put them together, overturn, up thin, down thick. Trying to keep lines parallel. Try not to keep a harsh like that. You don't want to slice down. You want like quite a smooth transition, so more like that. The other way around. So we're going down, up, compound curve, up, down, up, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, down, up, down, thick, thin, thin, and gone, thick, thin, thick. Descending loop. Oh no, ascending loop, sorry. The descending loop. So ascending because it's at the top, descending because it's at the bottom. Thin to thick, thin to thick, thin to thick. So you would never do a thick line going up. Okay, down, flick it round, down, flick it round. Ovals. Now, you might be thinking, why am I going to waste my ink, waste my paper, waste my pens doing that? Just going to grab 3 different colours and I'm going to show you. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole alphabet because just this video, I want you to practice these and then we'll move on to letters. But let's take the letter let's see. Let's think of a letter. Let's do the letter N. Okay, because I'm going to do the letter N. So we've got an upstroke, a downstroke, and a compound curve. Now, I stop halfway. If you wanted to, it doesn't make any bit of difference. You can take that all the way up, but it's going to cut off halfway because that becomes your entrance stroke for your next letter. So if we break that letter down into its basic strokes, we have an entrance stroke. Okay. We have a downward stroke, and we have a compound curve. Okay. If we add them together now, it looks like this. I'm just going to take the lids off these because just why I do it. I'm going to just move this over and do it here. So we've got an entrance stroke, which is up, nice and thin. We've got a downward stroke, nice and thick. And then you've got a compound curve. Okay, so can you see how each time I have had to swap pen, so it's forcing me to take my hand away from the page to swap pens. That's a good habit to get into, because then when you're confident, you still want to be taking that pen off. So we'll just do one last one. I think we will do the letter. Well, let's do the letter A because that's where the alphabet starts. So we've got an entrance stroke, and I only go halfway on this one. We have a curve. And we have an underturn that stops halfway, so because that would become your entrance stroke for your next letter. So I'll do it again. An entrance stroke halfway up. So imagine this is going halfway up. Curve. Oval, sorry. And you can always tweak it if you need to. And an underturn, but only going halfway up. So let's break it down again into strokes. We've got a half upstroke. We have an oval, and that one is terrible. And we have an underturn that stops. Okay, so I've done it wrong, but we've got a half entrance stroke, an oval, and there's nothing wrong with just fixing that. And an underturn. Add them together, and we've got our upstroke, oval, undertone, upstroke, oval, undertone. So that, as ridiculous and as weird as it looks, is the perfect place to start your calligraphy journey. Practice those basic strokes. They are super important. You're building muscle memory, you're working with the pen, you're going to be able to write any letter then by putting these together, regardless of what your handwriting looks like, because we're not writing letters, we are writing these basic shapes, putting them together and creating some beautiful, beautiful lettering. So the next part we're going to do is look at the alphabet, and we're going to work through the alphabet, putting these basic strokes together to create some beautiful letters before we move on to words. I hope you found that really interesting. It's very different to everything I've done before. I will post the link for these pens with my ambassador code in there to save yourself 10%. One big tip is get yourself some lovely smooth paper, because you want to protect these pens so they don't get ruined. And I'll see you in the next one when we'll tackle the alphabet. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Leave me any questions. I will get straight back to you. And I will see you all in the next one. So all that's left for me to say is adios.